Hello everyone. In this video, I will be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Samina Pasha to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let us go through the key developments and insights in Samina Pasha's words. The situation has drastically changed in the last 24 hours, and we have now entered a completely different scenario. Officially, the United States has launched an attack on Iran, a fear that was being expressed and anticipated, but no one expected it to happen so quickly. Although with Donald Trump as president, it is hard to predict anything because he is known to be unpredictable. You cannot really guess what he is going to do. And now I think he has lost even more credibility. So this entire situation has unfolded. And on the other hand, what will be the consequences for Pakistan? Because Pakistan is the country that officially nominated Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, those people who were, until yesterday, presenting long justifications for this nomination, calling it a brilliant strategic move, are now hiding their faces. Because Donald Trump did not just embarrass himself, he dragged them down with him. What Iran has decided now, what announcements they have made, all of that will be part of this vlog. I request you to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Viewers, in my last vlog, I clearly told you that 2 American aircraft were fully ready to carry out bombing over Iran, and their movements seemed unusually aggressive. It was suspected that the United States might attack, but no one anticipated that the attack would take place last night. But that is exactly what happened. Suddenly, news broke that America officially launched an attack and deployed 2 stealth bombers known as B-2 Stealth, also called bunker busters. These aircraft are capable of penetrating underground targets and causing destruction deep beneath the surface. The bombings carried out by these planes specifically targeted sites believed to be Iranian nuclear assets. It was not just a general strike. The target was precise and strategic. You can see from the footage and images being uploaded that this was a massive operation with raging fireballs and extensive destruction. After the attack, Donald Trump took full credit for it. Not only did he tweet about it, but he also released a formal statement saying that they had successfully targeted Iran's nuclear facilities in the Fordo region, and they had effectively stopped Iran from becoming a nuclear power. Trump further added that only the United States military could have achieved such a feat, and now it is time for peace. Iran should come to the table for negotiations. Such shamelessness. On one hand, you bomb a country, and on the other, you talk about peace. Only Donald Trump can show such audacity. Unfortunately, it is not just our government that displays this behavior. Anyway, Trump's tweet was followed by global awareness that the United States has officially conducted airstrikes on Iran and announced its involvement in the conflict. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu also appeared, thanking the United States, claiming they helped prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons. The United Kingdom also released a similar statement that Iran should never possess nuclear weapons. Now here is the ironic part. 2 nuclear powers, the United States and the United Kingdom, both with vast arsenals of nuclear weapons, have attacked a country that does not yet possess them. And they are saying, you must never have these weapons. This exposes who is really being aggressive and who is displaying bullying behavior. Now the world must decide where it stands. Various countries have started reacting. Saudi Arabia also condemned the attacks, along with other nations. However, Pakistan's government remained silent all morning. The reason was obvious. Just 24 hours ago, they had nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, and now that same man had launched missile strikes on a neighboring country. They do not know where to hide their faces. Just yesterday, they were praising him, calling him a hero of peace, saying he should receive a Global Peace Award. And now that same Trump has not only embarrassed himself, but also publicly humiliated those who were backing him. This attack by Trump has created many complications. Let us first address Trump's situation before we talk about Pakistan's government. Iran has now officially announced that after repeated warnings, since the United States ignored their calls to stay out of the conflict, America must now be ready for consequences. This is no longer just a war between Israel and Iran. It is now America's war too. If the United States is attacked, it will respond, and then we will have to see what Russia and China decide to do. At that point, Pakistan will also have to clarify its position. This is why many have been warning that this entire conflict could lead to a third world war. Because if the United States gets involved, it is unlikely that Russia and China will remain silent. And sadly, the current situation seems to be heading in that dangerous direction. Pakistan is at the heart of this region. It cannot remain unaffected or isolated from the fallout of this war. Trump's actions have made not only Americans insecure, but have also sparked opposition within the United States itself. Protests have erupted with chants of shame, shame. Many Americans believe the United States should not have gotten involved in this Israel-Iran conflict. Even United States congressmen are questioning the legality of the attack. They argue that Trump did not have the authority to unilaterally launch such an assault without congressional approval. Thus, they say his decision was illegal and that he will be held accountable. Moreover, Trump had previously declared he would wait 2 weeks for potential negotiations before considering military action. But he did not even wait 2 days. Such unreliability raises serious global doubts about his leadership. If someone cannot stand by their word, who can trust them? Especially if that person is the president of a superpower. This erratic decision-making puts the entire world at risk. Trump's actions will not only damage America, but will also shake the global order. Iran has declared that it will take revenge, and it has also announced plans to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. As I mentioned in my vlog 2 days ago, the Strait of Hormuz is a critical sea route through which about 20% of global oil trade flows. If this passage is blocked, it will disrupt oil trade, prices will rise, and that inflation will ripple through the global economy, affecting everything. This is a very dangerous declaration by Iran. Moreover, after this United States attack, Iran has launched a fierce counterattack on Israel. The scale of the attack is astonishing. Iran fired nearly 10 missiles in broad daylight, including the Khaybar Shikan. These missiles caused immense destruction, even reaching underground bunkers. The attack was so swift that many Israeli citizens did not have time to reach shelters. A large number of Israelis are now fleeing the country. Israel's infrastructure is being rapidly destroyed. Their Iron Dome defense system has significantly failed to intercept the attacks, exposing its vulnerabilities. The image of Israel as an invincible state, the one many Arab nations had surrendered to, has been severely shaken. Iran has pushed Israel into a tough position in just a few days of war. I'm not saying Iran has not suffered losses or that it has won the war, but I am saying this: Iran has fought this battle with remarkable resilience. And now they have realized that they picked a fight in the wrong place. This whole situation is unfolding on the global stage. Aside from that, it is also important to talk about the current situation in Pakistan. Until yesterday in Pakistan, the government's lackeys were loudly explaining to us how this was a brilliant strategic move. That basically, by nominating Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize, we had stopped him. Now Trump, because of this nomination, would think, oh no, if I launch an attack, I will not get the Nobel Prize, and therefore he would avoid engaging in war. That kind of absurd thinking only deserves a peace be upon you. It is not worth debating. There is no logical conclusion that can be drawn from it. Prominent names were backing this narrative, considering it a masterstroke by Pakistan. However, the truth is that both Trump's nomination and the overall United States visit backfired. It appears to be the same kind of miscalculation as when Imran Khan went to Russia, and on the same night Russia launched an attack on Ukraine. At that time, no one anticipated that the attack would happen that very night. The visit had been planned well in advance, but the impression left was that Pakistan was siding with Russia and possibly supporting the attack. That is why the Pakistani Prime Minister was sitting there during the invasion. That impression did harm, and General Bajwa at the time poured fuel on the fire by giving the same impression to foreign nations, especially in the United States, that Imran Khan was against them and aligned with Russia. A whole case was built against Imran Khan based on that. Now, similarly, another miscalculation has occurred. 24 hours before the United States launched a direct attack on Iran, the Pakistani government nominated Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. On top of that, our Field Marshal also met with Trump. Trump later mentioned publicly that General Asim Munir agreed with him, though he did not specify on what. After that meeting, the Pakistani government celebrated it like a major diplomatic victory. But all of this gave the impression that Pakistan might be siding with the United States. On the other hand, look at how cleverly Narendra Modi avoided the situation. Not necessarily because he opposed an attack on Iran, but to avoid triggering a discussion about Kashmir in Trump's presence. Modi cancelled his visit and returned to India from Canada, projecting neutrality. Meanwhile, we were present there and celebrated the occasion, giving the impression that we were standing shoulder to shoulder with the United States. Some pro-government journalists claimed that this was actually a diplomatic victory for Pakistan. They went so far as to say that we stopped Trump from going to war. But the praise and polish they showered have now backfired. It has all come back on their own faces. Thousands of Muslims have been martyred, whether in the Gaza war or now in Iran. And yet it seems as though we are supporting the aggressors. This is not the official policy of Pakistan, but the silence was deafening. The entire day passed with no official tweet from the government. Finally, by the afternoon, a tweet came out saying, "We condemn the United States attacks and urge the United Nations to play its role." Even Finance Minister Shahbaz tweeted. But by then, the arrow had already left the bow. People started comparing the government's contradictory tweets on social media, one day nominating Trump for peace and the next day condemning his war. Within 24 hours, Pakistan's stance had flipped 180 degrees. So what kind of experienced diplomacy is this? Who should be thanked for this humiliation on the global stage? Even renowned global diplomats like Mehdi Hassan were mocking Pakistan's actions. Indian diplomats were ridiculing the situation, saying, "Look at the state of Pakistan," all excited just because Trump did not support Imran Khan and instead supported their regime. They celebrated without realizing how much the overall scenario had shifted and what the consequences would be. Today, Imran Khan's old video is going viral, where he speaks about potential United States-Iran tensions. He had warned that such a conflict would be disastrous, not just for the region, but for the world. It would raise global prices and push the entire region toward a third world war. Now imagine, the visionary leader sits in jail, while the jokers are making a mockery of Pakistan on the world stage. Every prediction Imran Khan made about India, about Israel, is proving accurate. Even when India staged the Pulwama false flag and took military action afterward, it turned out exactly as Khan had said. He had also made accurate comments about Israel and now about the Iran-United States situation. When he said, "I understand the West," they laughed at him. But his assessments have repeatedly been proven correct on international issues. Meanwhile, we keep fumbling, unsure of what stance to take. If we want to support Iran, then why are we nominating Trump? When we tweeted that we condemn the attack, we should have also tweeted that we are ashamed of having nominated him and are withdrawing the nomination, but we did not. So now the question is, are we still standing by that nomination? This is a moment for reflection. Our diplomacy and decision-making are both painfully shallow. You fail to anticipate the consequences of your actions, decisions that the whole state of Pakistan must then suffer for. On the other hand, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, through its official Twitter handle, condemned the attack, expressed solidarity with Iran, gave speeches in the National Assembly, and visited the Iranian embassy to show support. But such actions were not seen from the PMLN or the so-called hybrid regime or the People's Party. They were simply happy that Trump hugged them. They do not even realize the seriousness of the current situation. PTI's position is clear. Maryam Nawaz talks a lot, especially when it is about attacking political opponents. Now let her use equally strong words to condemn Israel. Let her criticize Narendra Modi in harsh language. Let her call out Trump by name and denounce him. Imran Khan did that openly. Even early in his tenure as Prime Minister, when Trump made an inappropriate comment, Khan responded sharply and publicly. If you have courage, then do the same. Criticize Trump and call out Netanyahu by name. Let the world see where you stand. A potential fuel crisis is looming. That is why instructions have been given to stockpile 200 million litres of petrol for 20 days, and an order placed to import 140 million litres more. Conditions are worsening rapidly, and we, being part of this region, may also be affected. Ideally, Pakistan should not get involved in this war. No one is saying we should participate in war, but we also should not be garlanding Trump at such a moment. So now the question is, what role should Pakistan play? It is crucial that Pakistan not only stands with Iran, but also works actively to stop this war. It must coordinate with other Muslim countries to form a unified voice. Only then can this situation be halted. Even if that means taking diplomatic or trade measures against the United States or Israel, so be it. Pakistan needs strong communication with Arab nations to bring them on board, because only through collective pressure will these rogue powers back off. If we think, let Iran suffer, what is it to us? Then we are mistaken. One by one, every Muslim country is being targeted, and Pakistan might not be far behind. May Allah protect us. Thankfully, we are a nuclear power with a strong army and air force, so we feel secure. But any war brings loss, and loss is loss. Therefore, it is essential to stop this here. The powerful nations need to be told, you are not the world's overlords. You cannot just invade any country while the rest of the world watches in silence. That wraps up our translation of Samina Pasha's video. I hope this English version helped you understand her message better. Please like, share, and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Do not forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.